How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt. Welcome to my first ever YouTube drum lesson. Today we're going to be talking about how to chart a song on the drums. Charting a song is a great way to learn it. If you're going to be playing some songs at a gig, or if you're doing a cover, you may notice some charts in my drum covers. It's just a great resource to use. And I'm going to show you how to write a chart. Okay, so before we begin, I just want to say what items you might need to chart. So first, you're going to need headphones. As you probably know, drum parts sound better through headphones because you'll be able to hear everything than through speakers, kind of like a bass. It's better to listen with headphones. Over ears are fine, earbuds are fine, any kind of headphones. Next, you're going to need something to write on. I have just standard notebook paper. If you have a chart, like stack paper, that's totally fine too. I just use what I have. Either is fine. And finally, you're going to want a pencil. Don't use a pen, because we're human, we're not perfect, we make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time doing these charts, so you're going to want to use something that you can clear. And one last thing I want to stress is that you do not have to chart the way I do. Nobody is going to see these. No one's going to have to learn the song from your chart. I know I share my charts, but that's just for people to look at. Do this for you. Again, this is to learn the song. So whatever works for you, great, you do you. Okay, so with all that out of the way, I am ready to begin. And for today's lesson, we are going to be using the song I Left My Body by the Happy Giants to chart. The nice thing about songs in 4/4 are it's really easy to use 4 measures a line, because that helps you through the song, especially since a lot of drum parts have phrases in multiples of 4, so an 8-bar phrase or a 12-bar phrase. Normally in the 8th bar, if it's an 8-bar phrase, there's a drum fill getting us into the next part. So if you're playing to something like Rush or Tool or something that has a lot of odd time signature in it, it might not be as simple as 4 bars a line. But let's get into it. Okay, so to start us off, the drums are doing a crash and snare on all 4 beats. So the nice thing about charting is a lot of the times you play the same beat a measure. Instead of writing out the same beat every measure, what you can do are do 4 hash marks, and that means to play the previous measure. That way you don't have to write out every beat, like I said, and it's easy to follow along. And then when you would do something else in the measure, then you can write that out. A lot of times it may be the same beat, which is a simple fill, like I said earlier, just to get us into the next part. You know, that's fine too. Whatever works for you, like I said. So what I'm going to do is, since the second and third measure are the same, I'm just going to do 4 hash marks here. Alright, and then the last bar of this phrase gets us into the song. So I'm going to write that out here right now. Just a crash and snare on beats 1 and 3. Alright, so now that we have that all written out, let's hear what that sounds like with the transcription. Alright, so now we're on to the verse, and it's got this really cool groove going on with the toms. It's super fun to play. Not a whole lot of repeating measures, so you won't see a whole lot of slash marks, but we do have some kind of syncopated snare notes. But yeah, and then we have a little cool thing going on in the snare to get us onto the next part of the song. So let's take a look at that part of the song with the transcription. Alright, so this next phrase probably belongs with the verse, but I kind of like the idea of the verse being the tom-tom groove. So I moved this down and called this the pre-chorus. And we go to the hi-hat now, and we got some kind of offbeats going on in the bass drum, keeping it a little interesting, kind of going with the bass. So yeah, let's see how that looks with the song.
I left a notebook with all of my good ideas, keywords encoded cryptographically.
Alright, so this next line of 4 measures probably also should have been part of the pre-chorus, but we did have that snare hit on beat 4 of the last measure of the last section, so I felt like that should make another section. So now we're on to what I would call the chorus, and we got a little more heavier sound, kind of just keeping this groove with some bass drum notes. And then we get kind of like we had at the beginning with the 4 crashes and snare hits, and that'll lead us back to the verse. So let's hear how the chorus sounds with my transcription.
I'm waiting endlessly on the receptionist at the desk. I'm searching high and low, but I don't see anyone, don't see anyone, don't see anyone there.
Alright, so now we're back to the verse. The verse is pretty similar to the first verse. We just got a bit of syncopation on the snare backbeat. One thing I do want to point out here is this 6-bar phrase just repeats. So what I did was I placed a repeat symbol at the front of the first measure of this phrase and then one at the end at the last measure of this phrase. So you would repeat this whole 6-bar phrase once. That just saves me some time from having to write it out. It also helps me kind of structure the song in my mind. And then obviously the second time we play this, the last measure, it's a little bit different to get us back into the pre-chorus. So let's see how this sounds with the song.
I left my body with the old landlady, but I don't know if she read the directions. There must be something you can use on the carpet. Someone might want that electric blanket.
Alright, so now we're on to the second pre-chorus. Again, it's pretty similar to the first pre-chorus, just like the second verse was similar to the first verse. Not a whole lot to say here, just kind of the same. So let's take a listen to how this section sounds with the song.
Unfinished manuscript and tungsten ring. My plastic hip is going to be worth something.
Alright, so this is the final part of the song. It's the second chorus. There's a couple of things to note here. We're actually going to be repeating it once to finish out the song. So we have the 4-quarter note crash snare combo. But I don't see anything, can't see anything. I'm waiting endlessly. So it takes us back to that part. Now you'll notice I put 2 hash marks on one measure and then a couple of notes for beats 3 and 4 on one measure. That just means you just play those notes for beats 3 and 4. Because a lot of times, like I said, you may be playing a beat and then you do a little fill or something. So that's what that means. Yeah, let's see how this sounds with the music.
I took the folding knife and the battery palette soap. I left my body and right away I knew I'd made a mistake. I left without my senses and I can't see anything, can't see anything. I'm waiting endlessly on the receptionist.
Okay, guys, and that's it. We've charted up the whole song. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments about it. I'd be more than happy to answer any you have. Let me know if you want to see any more drum lessons. I'll probably do one in the future. One I'm probably thinking of is how I record my drum covers. I think that'd be a fun topic to cover. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with the whole song and the transcription on screen. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.